There has been a drop in the overall life expectancy in the US. Apparently, life expectancy had been rising in the US until about 2015 when it started dropping. In 2017, it was a bad year for influenza. There was also a slight uptick in the cases of Alzheimer's. Also, a significant rise in suicides, some of the highest numbers that we've seen in 50 years. There was also a significant rise in drug overdoses. Suicide and overdose, someone has coined these two deaths of despair. What can we do about it? We've been told to let the professionals deal with it. That isn't going to work. Have you called around for a counselor lately? I don't know if you know this, but many of them are booked. Some of them aren't taking new clients because they're so full. The people who are taking their lives and the people who are overdosing are dealing with what we would call hopelessness. How can you help them? Most of you listening to this video have hope. Many of you are Christians. And as Christians, where does our hope come from? I want to read something to you that I read on a website called gotquestions.org. In the J.B. Phillips translation of Colossians 1:27, it's put this way: the secret is simply this, Christ in you, yes, Christ in you, bringing with him the hope of glorious things to come. The hope of glory is the fulfillment of God's promises to restore us and to restore all of creation. This hope is not wishful thinking, but it is the confident, expectant, joyful knowledge that we are being changed by God and will one day see Christ face to face, having been conformed to his image. The hope of glory includes our resurrection as well. If the spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead is living in you, he who raised Christ from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies because of his spirit who lives in you. That's Romans 8 and verse 11. It includes a heavenly inheritance. In his great mercy, he has given us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, and into an inheritance that can never perish, spoil, or fade. This inheritance is kept in heaven for you. 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 3 and 4. See, the Spirit of Christ within you is what we would call the deposit, guaranteeing your inheritance. That's Ephesians 1:14. Christ's presence in us is the hope of glory, and this truth is full of glorious riches. Our once dead, darkened spirits have been made alive. Christ is in our hearts, and we know that there is life beyond this earthly existence, a life that will be glorious beyond all imagination. If you have that hope in you, then it should also exude out of you, and it should impact those who may be feeling hopeless right now. Let's not let fear take over and keep us from getting close to those who are struggling. Let's lean toward the hopelessness and share with the people who are hopeless the hope that we have. Hopefully, some of it will rub off on them.